Okay.
really fascinating because our topic kind of filtered off into other areas that we really weren't expecting. We got some really great feedback. Just an amazing group of people here that we're working with. Our issue, of course, was addressing the business needs, the skills gaps that we're hearing about out there, and how we might be able to take digital literacy training and create online learning to fill some of those skills gaps if needed, and how to identify those skills gaps. And in our discussion, actually there were some really interesting ideas that came up here. First, one of those being, you know, what are soft skills? Because we've heard that that's kind of an issue with businesses, that people are coming in, they don't have soft skills. And I think it was Tara came up with the comment that it's a generational issue in some situations where people who have grown up having to communicate offline with people don't feel that a younger generation that maybe texts or uses email more often really knows how to communicate one-on-one with people, or an analog world. And vice versa, that the techies, feel that they should be able to do everything, via text and email, and don't necessarily have those human communication skills. So that was kind of one area we explored a little bit, and don't really have an answer for that, but we'll get to that in a moment. Another interesting concept that came up was the idea of having a chat feature available from Workforce Center, so that I could go into the library, and if I need help writing, with my resume or something, I could open a chat window and actually get somebody at the Workforce Center. Not making any promises, of course. And Kathy has been here listening to this, which is wonderful. But it's a really interesting idea of how we might integrate technology into something that would help solve a really critical problem. But I think probably the most important point that came up as we were discussing all of this, and with the team, we've got the extension people here, and the libraries represented, and now PCs for People has joined us, and talking about all the different pockets of training and resources that have been created just from this MIRC project. It's phenomenal. But how do we catalog that in a way that Marcia at the library in Grand Rapids could address the need of one of her customers who comes in and says, I need to be able to get my business online. And for her to be able to reasonably find a resource for that she's fairly confident is the correct resource. So Kathy had suggested getting a group of MIRCsters together to actually brainstorm this and put together this pool of resources that we've come up with, and figure out a way to catalog that in a way that it would make it useful.